seat. Penn Township Board of Supervisors now called this special workshop on Monday, January 23rd, 2017 at 7:01 p.m. First, we will call the meeting to the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. The purpose of this meeting tonight is a workshop and the presentation by the PA Option for Wellness, Inc. At this time here, I'd like to introduce Tom Trite. He is going to bring the presentation and lead the meeting from here. Let's welcome Tom.
I appreciate the opportunity to come here and talk to everyone tonight. We will do a small presentation to give you a little background, first of all, into medical cannabis and how it's come about and advanced in Pennsylvania, give you an introduction of our company, and certainly reassure you that our focus is on security. The legislature was focused on security. We focused on security, and I guarantee you it's going to be a very secure facility and have done everything to avoid any kind of issues, certainly completely avoiding diversion. But that being said, I'm a pharmacist. I've been in the long-term care pharmacy area, so I've dealt with pediatric, I've dealt with geriatric, and I've dealt with a lot of individuals with brain injury, a lot of PTSD, and I've seen what pharmaceutical drugs have done to the people with the opiates and some of the antipsychotics, and it's not a pretty situation, and felt that there was something better that can be done. Started researching into cannabis and found that it was doing a lot for children with epilepsy, doing a lot for veterans with PTSD, doing a lot for people with cancer and pain. From there, as I did the research, found that it's something that I felt was something worth looking into. At that point, we had looked in Jersey, and that program is completely messed up and not well done. But went in and met with Senator Falmer, and we had a discussion. He liked a lot of the ideas that we talked about. They had a phenomenal start for their regulations developed, which is actually second to none that I've seen in the nation. And I've looked at most of them, and several of the members of our team have done the same thing and found that Pennsylvania's legislature and legislation is well done. Certainly, can it be improved? Yes, and it will over time. But it's a very good program. So anyway, I met with him, we talked, and then he said, at the end of the session, he said, we're going to make a trip out to Colorado. Would you be interested in going? He said, there's no state funds being used for the trip. Everybody paid their own way. I said, I'd be glad to. And I went with Senator Falmer, and there were several of us, went out to see the realm of caring and seeing Charlotte. If you've heard of Charlotte's Web, which was used for childhood epilepsy, we met with Charlotte and her family and saw what it did for her. And then we talked to 40 other families that were displaced from states that didn't have a medical cannabis program. And after that, there was no turning back. When you see what it does for these children, and you talk to the vets and see what it does for them, basically the vets will tell you, it's given me my life back. Anyway, One of the things that captured my heart, and I will never forget this till the day I die, a 14-year-old girl and her mother were out there. They're from Virginia. Her brothers, 2 brothers, and her father were back in Virginia. She was having all kinds of seizures. She went out there, got on the medical cannabis, was seizure-free, but had to make a decision if she ever wanted to see her dad again and her brothers. She had to decide to go back to having seizures, and nobody in this world should have to make that decision. So you can be very thankful that we are in Pennsylvania and that we do have a good bill. We have very good regulations. It certainly is focused on taking care of the patients, making sure that the physicians and the patients have the tools they need to either improve their conditions or at least an opportunity to improve their conditions. At the same time, they're very respectful and protective of making sure that it's secure, that it's not going to be flooding out on the streets, which I sort of have to laugh at because it's already flooded out on the streets. And the stuff that's out on the streets isn't what we're talking about with medical cannabis. With medical cannabis, you know exactly what you're getting. It's being tested both by our facility and also going out to a neutral lab to be tested. So you know exactly what you're getting. And cannabis is made up of over 100 different cannabinoids. So that, you know, THC is the psychotropic one. That's the one that creates the headiness and that part of the effect. CBD counteracts a lot of that and also has a lot of additional medical pieces that it's able to address. So to make a long story short, it's completely different than what you are getting on the street, and we're not going to be putting anything out on the street. It's controlled from seed to sale, so we can account for everything from the time it starts to the time it goes out the door on a recommendation of the physician. What we've done is we put together a great team. John Spagnola is our compounding pharmacist. He's actually at a pharmacy in Newport and Duncannon, right?
Just Newport.
Just Newport.
Down the square, down the pharmacy.
But anyway, and we have our medical director is somebody that's well-known and well-respected and has corresponded with just about all the departments of health across the country doing research on what is available out there as far as research. And Jim Byerly's our chief financial officer. He comes from a great experience in the insurance industry and risk management and making sure that we do everything properly. With that focus, we really want to make sure that we're having it in a secure location, that we do everything properly as far as from the grow process. They're accountable for everything that goes into that plant and knowing exactly what the outtake is as far as what percent of the CBD and THC it is, as well as what the strength of that amount in each of the doses, so that we actually do research to make sure that you're going with a low dose and then gradually increasing if you have to address what your individual needs are. If you need that.
Tom has had experience doing what he's been doing. He grew his pharmacy to the 3rd largest in the country. This isn't his first go around. We're not getting into this game, so to speak, to sell dope to stoners. It's not going to happen. We have a research-based model that we're going to do. We've got researchers with, can I mention a couple names?
But with several
several
universities
universities.
and schools of medicine.
And we are involved with them to do research to actually say, this part of the plant works for this medical condition and this strength. And it's not going to happen overnight, but we're committed to doing it. It's not just to get in, to have a big plant to say, we're growing marijuana. It's not going to work. We're doing medical cannabis. It's a completely different mindset from what the other states have done. Pennsylvania, we're not allowed to sell any flour or anything that's smokable. We're not allowed to sell any edibles. Nothing, there's no candies, there's no cookies, there's no brownies, there's no cakes. We can put it into oral dosage forms. That's where some of my compounding pharmacy experience comes into play. We can do oral capsules, liquids, we might do topicals, we might do, I don't know, some sub-labeled dosage forms. And we can, on a physician's recommendation only. They can't prescribe it, it's because of federal regulations, but in this state, it's legal. It's the law of the land, and we're going to accept every law of the land and go above, far and beyond what they're telling us we have to do. And I believe that our research at the end of the day will differentiate our company from anybody else going to do this in the state. I defer to you, Tom.
The other area that we're really focused on, and we were in my previous company, but that is making sure that we're good corporate citizens. So we want to work with the community, certainly in drug abuse education. That's one of our areas of focus and interest. Certainly with the Perry County Drug Task Force, we discussed that with the supervisors. They mentioned that that's certainly something that needs some assistance, and we're certainly going to be volunteering our services there, as well as helping with some financial support as it's needed. Doing this in any of the areas where we're in the communities, we're looking for opportunities to work with the community to make it a better community. Another piece, certainly, you might ask is, how many jobs does this mean? We're looking at, initially, the starting is probably going to be about 25 substantial jobs that would be starting out. And over the next 3 years, we plan on probably adding an additional 60 people into the process of the grow process. And what that involves is certainly taking it from seed to sale, and going through the processing, as John mentioned earlier, turning it into capsules or any dosage form that's needed for that patient to make sure that the patient's able to get what they need at the right dose and in the right mode of administration. Any questions?
Could you explain that seed sale? Like what's going to happen, who's going to be involved, what are the employees will be doing from seed
to sale? People will be hired. They will have all state police and FBI background check on all our employees. Certainly have to be approved, cannot have any drug issues. We will acquire the seeds initially, working it through the state, what they allow us to acquire. Then those seeds are accounted for, and then the plants are weighed throughout the process and kept on there's a software that tracks the inventory. So it tracks it as a seed, it tracks it as a plant, it tracks it, as it goes through the growth cycle. It tracks it as it goes through the vegging cycle, and it tracks it as it goes through the drying cycle. And then as it goes to processing, again, it's tracked again, and then at that time, it's turned into the capsules, it's extracted into an oil, All that stuff is weighed and accounted for through the whole process. And then from there, it will go from the processing, it would go to a dispensary across the state. And at that point, the processing has a record of it. There's a tracking that continues with it through the transportation process. It's a well-secure, orchestrated process of transportation to the dispensary. The dispensary, again, is tracked from there. They make sure the two pieces match up. And then it goes to the actual recommendation from the physician to be dispensed to the patient. And there's accountability of that patient has to be an approved patient that received this recommendation from an approved doctor. So the doctors are approved, and then the patients get approval. And then when they get that prescription, it's tracked, reported to the state, and completes the whole process throughout that process.
So no cannabis will be dispensed at the grow facility?
No. Yes, ma'am.
Can you expand on your security process? Is that dictated by the state? Is that just something you come up with on your
Well,
own?
it's a combination. The state has its minimums, and we plan on exceeding the minimums. And certainly, what I did in long-term care, the reason we grew from serving one nursing home with 179 beds to serving over 300 with 32,000 beds, was by doing the right processes and using best practices to improve things for the patients, for our staff, and having everything accountable. In pharmacy, we had to have diversion tactics to make sure that nothing escapes. And this is taking it actually to an even larger level. Those things will include security guards at the facility,
Will that be 24 hours?
24-hour at the grow process. It will be cameras all over the place. That records are kept for 4 years. They're monitored constantly. We can look at them. The state would be able to look at them. They can come in at any time and do an inspection. We will be doing our own quality assurance and compliance. And we'll actually be doing audits just like I did in my pharmacies, where we'll just go in and spot check just to make sure that we're keeping everybody honest and that there's no way anything's happening to reduce it. So you have the security guards, you have the compliance program. All our employees will have specific training for compliance and those requirements. Certainly, we're monitoring and the state's monitoring to make sure that all the stuff's accounted for. And trying to think what other points. I mean, we have standard operating procedures for security. The transportation, when it's being transported, there will be 2 security personnel with each transportation. And the one will always be in that vehicle at all times. Even in the vehicle, in our areas, it'll be controlled in vaults, so that even if they broke into the place, they couldn't get to the product. And in the transportation vehicles, they're locked in lock boxes that are attached to the vehicle. And like I said, one person's always with the car, and the other would be taking it in. And at the same time, where they're taking it has security personnel also. So it's always being watched by 2 people other than when that person's taking it in. But it's all accounted for. If anything would happen and it doesn't make it to the dispensary, then we know that exactly who had that, who had control of that at the time, and who would be held accountable for that. Yes, sir.
I'd like to hear about environmental impacts, water usage, things of that nature.
We are doing everything that we can to be very good stewards of that. Most of the soil is completely reused. Water is recirculated and rebuilt to provide the nutrients to the plants. It's done, and actually we're working with the university to try even better methods of, improving those conditions. But everything's done very environmentally safe. Nothing's returned into the soil or into the water area that isn't properly allowed to be returned to the water.
Will you be using chemicals at the plant?
No. We're just using the nutrients. There will be approved pieces that we are allowed to use. What type of chemicals are you referring to?
Well, when you process the marijuana to extract the...
We're using CO2.
Excuse me?
We're using CO2 extraction. We're not using any butane, none of those. Actually, I made sure that Pennsylvania had not to use butane as an extracting agent, because I don't want anything being put into a body that isn't natural.
Along with the environmental end of things, you touched on the water part of it. Do you have an estimate of how many gallons of water you're probably going to be using for your facility per year? In the first year and then oncoming with the additional employees, my concern is I will be your neighbor, or you're going to be my neighbor, you're joining my community. And I know that the wells on that mountain, they're only at 175 feet. And recently, one of my neighbors had to take their well to 765 feet, which is equal to Sherman's Creek. And that's because the reduced water flow coming out of our mountain going into the business campus that it is now. So that's one of my biggest concerns, is how many gallons of water we're going to suck off that mountain. Whenever we don't have the rainfall, we come into drought, there's natural springs alongside of that mountain that dry up, and they have been for the last 5 years. They don't run like they used to, and it's directly because of what the business campus want. There's no other reason for it other than that. They suck a ton of that water out of there. It used to be agricultural fields. So that's my first concern. The second concern is the waste residual. What are you doing with the waste product? Where is it going? How's it being transported? And under what security?
The waste product is being done based on what the state tells us to do. But what we found is most of that product is very good as a compost and is very good as, actually if you put it in a landfill, the stuff breaks apart. It's really good for landfills. So we're working with the state to see what the best environmental process is. The important thing is, what is the final product is really just weeds, and fiber. So it gets broken up, it gets mixed so that, if there is any minute amount of any kind of cannabis in it, it's completely diluted and cannot be abused. And most of the stuff can be used to regenerate soil and compost.
And I get all that. So my next one would be, because you're turning this into an oil-based product, back in the day, the hash oil was a big product. And getting any kind of an oil base, they would just line the top of a cigarette with it and smoke it. So that's one use. Second would be, is it vaping? Is it going to be put into vapes? Now I understand that they do it now, some of the kids do, and actually the vape machines are blowing up because it has to be heated so hot for it to be vaporized. So those are my two biggest concerns on that level of it. But back to the environment. How will the building be built to aesthetically match business campus one? Are we talking about 12-foot fences, Constantine wire at the top, or are you talking about ground pounders on the ground, outside your facility protecting?
We're in the process of looking into that.
Yeah, are you going to limit access to Orchard Hill Road? I see you have properties on both sides of that road.
We don't anticipate that we're going to need any access to Orchard Hill.
I didn't hear that.
I would certainly hope not, seeing as it's my driveway.
Pardon me, I can't hear what you're saying, I'm sorry. What did you say?
He was asking about how you're going to affect the access to Orchard Hill Drive.
I don't even know where Orchard Hill Drive is, to be honest with you, so I can't answer that.
Have you been in business campus one?
Yeah, I live here,
So do I.
and I
26 months ago has been built there, and Orchard Hill Drive is the the campus was built.
don't think there's gonna be any, the park is approved. The lights are in. It can be used for what we're going to use it for. It's not going to affect anything. This is not a company that brings in huge tractor trailers time after time or do anything like that. All of the product is moved basically in what I would call very small vans. So there's very little traffic involved with it. It's a grow facility, and it is they manufacture a product. The product is approved by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So there's not, in other words, we're not allowed to go out and be doing, different products. The products are outlined in the law. He talked about the water. I farm here. I farm 650 acres. There's nobody that cares more about Perry County than I do, or the water. The tank that we draw from, the original fill for the building is going to be 14,000 gallons. The tank is a 50,000 gallon tank. So you're not using any even remotely dangerous to draw that down. After that, basically what we're looking at is about 1,400 gallons of water a day. Maybe not that, depending on how much they can use from recharge from their systems. And that's all being worked out by some of the best people in the country. I think this is an opportunity that we really need to look at. It is good jobs. It is a good product. I have built properties all over the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. My people that I work with are the who's who of industry. The Crayola Corporation, MetLife, AC Nielsen, Eastern Alliance Insurance, and on and on. I looked to find people that I work with who are the best that there are. I was very interested, because of the park and the problems of its growth, in helping. I saw this as an opportunity where we could bring in a company that fits, that matches what Perry County is, and that provides good jobs for our people, with doing very little impact on the land. I dealt with 6 different people, 6 different corporations looking to build facilities, and have been offered to build in other places for other people and have said no. The reason I like these guys is they're quality guys. They're quality people. They have Perry County background, they've had businesses here, and I know that they have the same concern for our county that I have. So I am excited about them coming. I can tell you, I see little or no environmental impact, negative environmental impact. And I'm excited to be partners with them. I'm excited to have them come here, and I hope you guys will be excited to have them. But this is an opportunity that Perry County shouldn't miss.
If I may iterate on the road access, each of those lots in the business park have been dedicated entrances from the township dedicated roads. So there is going to be no access to your road to access any of those properties. Off of all the designated roads, there are entrants already designated to get into those lots. So there's no reason to encroach upon or to grow upon the road going up into the mountains to your homes. The business park has been dedicated with those roads, those lots with entrances. So that issue there won't be an issue for you as residents. blocking your road or encroaching upon your road. Each lot is already designated for their own roads or for their own access to it. With reference to the environmental impact, I went online when I first heard about this company. Not only am I the supervisor, but I also sit on the Perry County Economic Development Corporation that oversees the business park. So when we were when this was brought to us months ago, probably about 6 or 7 months ago, when this was originally brought to the Economic Development Corp, I went in and researched these guys, and I went on to research the technology that they've been using, not just here, but in other facilities and other like facilities. I don't know if any of you know much about Israel, but Israel's a desert, and they have water issues in Israel. But what Israel has done with their science and their technology to grow their country and to do it environmentally safe, that they have actually developed ways to bring water into the desert. If you would go back 50 years ago, you would see Israel nothing but a desert. You go over there now and you would see the valleys and see the desert now blooming with fruits and vegetables and figs and olive trees and all these things. What they have done is develop technology that this company is bringing here to do soil sensors, where there's only going to be water released when it needs to be released. When the soil reduces its moisture, then water, so it's not like constant water will be flowing over these plants. Sensors will be guiding the water when it needs it, when it doesn't need it. Same way with the energy impact here, is that the same type of sensor is one doesn't need sunlight and one doesn't need sunlight. One will be at natural. As the plant first grows, it needs more moisture, needs more sunlight. But as it's growing into a fuller plant, it needs less water and less light. And this is the technology that I found on the website of what they're going to be using in this facility. So environmentally, I see that they have done their homework, and there's a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge that has gone into this process.
I work for an engineering company down in New York, and we have a lot of clients in the Fortune 500 group, from Hershey Foods, Home Spice, Northrop Grumman, quite a few. And we're currently designing 2 facilities for folks down in the Maryland area. And I'm just curious where did you get your expertise on how to actually do the growing? Did you do this before in other states?
Yeah, we have people that are advisors for us that have been in the industry for over 10 years. And they've been in Arizona, where they have medical cannabis, in Massachusetts, where they have medical cannabis, and in California.
Okay. So have you ever run a business in another state that does this?
Not that does this. I've researched, but several of our consultants are ones that have done that we brought in, both previous and they're ongoing for a relationship of consulting. But our master grower has been in the industry for 10 years. And our chief medical advisor has been one that's done PTSD studies with the vets in one of the few approved FDA studies. And her focus is on that, educating the physicians, educating the patients.
Well, as you know, there aren't that many licenses that will be granted. Do you feel your odds are fairly good to get a license?
We would hope so. I mean, nothing's guaranteed in life. But what I will say is, from being with it in the beginning and actually our business plan, most of the stuff that is now in the regs is stuff that we had thought about way before. And we were actually talking to universities before Chapter 19 or 20, which didn't have to do with education and research take place. We were already talking and working to work projects with universities.
You know specifically who's going to actually give the thumbs up or thumbs down on the application?
I have no idea. I mean, the final stop is the Secretary of Health. But there's various people that will be reviewing the various parts based on their expertise, and then they'll rate them And there's a point system, and based on those results, then they'll be looking at the areas and the distribution.
We understand that the state's looking for a lot of detail in the plans. I understand you've been working with Gannett Plumbing on the plans, is that accurate?
It's here, yes, but we're all, they're actually consulting some other groups that we work with that have that experience with the technology and with the facilities in other states.
So you have the facility pretty much designed as of now?
It's starting, yeah, I mean, it's pretty close. There's some fine tuning and pieces.
What types of jobs will be available? What types of qualifications will the people need to work there? And will you provide training for new applicants in order to do the work?
Definitely. I mean, our master grower and several others that have experience will be doing the training. Plus, we'll be bringing in expertise from some of these other states where we've had it to come in and do the training. Certainly, we're in the process of writing up the job descriptions and what the qualifications are. But we have anything from security positions that will actually be outsourced to a security company that is solely focused on security and has large amount of experience in security with cannabis in other states, and is now creating a great program here. It's a company that also does all the security for the pharmaceutical companies in the state. So we'll have some security positions. We'll have certainly compliance positions. We will be having some pharmacy tech type positions for doing the dispensing of the medication. There will be pharmacists. There will all, in all our locations, we'll have a pharmacist at all times in the facility. There will be receptionists. In the grow part, there will be people that are growing. There will be people that are in the processing area, as well as the security area. That answer your question?
Yeah, I have one other question. This is more of a state question than it is a local one. I would say first, that as a registered nurse, I'm 100% for medical marijuana. When I've done my research and see the benefits that it can have opposed to the side effects, it's way much more in favor of the benefits. But what question I have is if you know, what is the state doing to look into accessibility to prescriptions? Because I know a lot of people are excited about this, they're eager to try it. My only concern being that if people it is difficult for them to get the prescription, what is to prevent them from just going on the black? Because it's not hard to get marijuana. And if they go into the black market, then of course they open themselves up to prosecution if they get caught. Or
yes, and we do have some nurses. I'm sorry, I didn't look at it in my piece, but we do have some nurses too that are third party information. But there will be cards yet. But the state is doing a lot of education or developing, and actually one of the groups we work with is the Coalition for Education and Research in Medical Cannabis, which is tied with Thomas Jefferson University. And with that, they're working with the state on an education program for the physicians, as well as other health practitioners, pharmacists. We're doing pieces for pharmacy education, nursing education, and any caregiver education. Certainly, they're promoting to the physicians. They created a physician work group that's working on, how do we better prepare the physicians so that when these people, when the product is available, we have properly trained physicians that can, bring the people into the system. We, as a company, are going to be participating with our medical director and some other staff in doing education of physicians too. So they are reaching out, and I'm sure once this process is started, they're going to be really focused on physicians and then patients as far as getting them on board and approved. The physicians have to have CE programs just like pharmacists do, and we're extending that to any of the health practitioners too.
This product be available at like regular drugstore or specialty?
You know, only at dispensaries
Okay.
that are approved by the state.
Do you know how many of those are open?
In phase one, there's 27 dispensary permits. Now, each dispensary could open 3 locations. Each of those locations has to be in a different county. So you're looking at a potential phase one of 81. In the bill itself, it's approved for up to 150. So it'd be 50 permits, 150 locations.
What about your total time from now when you drop the application so it's reviewed, so you can start building? I guess you talk about a pretty expensive piece of time.
It adds up. I mean, I've only been working on this for 3 years, so. But it's, all the applications have to be in by March 20th. Then, yeah, the state estimates that it could take 90 days. And I think that's optimistic. But, I mean, they have different people assigned to different groups. It's all, how many very good applications do they get as to how long it's going to take, whether it takes 3 months, 4 months. I mean, in the legislature, I think the goal is 90 days, but it's going to be what they need to pick the right ones. And then from there, you're talking about, even if you were ready to grow right at that time, you're looking at about 4 months to get that product. And most likely there will be additional build out. So you're looking at probably about the end of this year, beginning of next year.
Are you at liberty to say what part of the business campus you're looking at building in?
I believe that's a business campus. What, the area that we're building.
Okay, if you come in business campus way, and you take it all the way back to Orchard Hill Drive, the campus makes a right, Brody makes a right. Okay, you're looking down along that wooded section, it also goes down and then it comes back. Are you looking at that section, or are you looking at the section in the center?
We're looking at lot 12 and 13, which on the back.
They are, okay, they are on the far side next to the fields.
Yes.
Okay. I'm very familiar with where they are. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
This is probably more for the township, but once this process starts, are we going to have a little more state police patrolling while they're building and until maybe they've been waiting for a little while? Because there's a lot of sketchy stuff that happens in that area now, and so I can only imagine when there's construction equipment and things back there, and I would hope maybe we have a little more police presence.
May I say something about that? The whole time we built the business campus, I was the inspector on the business campus. I don't know of the contractor having one issue with vandalism back there.
Okay, well, that's cool, but, I mean, there's a homeless man that lives in his car back there for the entire summer. So, I live there, I drive past it every day. I'm all about what you're doing in the building, but understand, I have to live there, literally live beside it. So I want to make sure that we're safe, that there's police protection, that you're taking security measures, you know, grow what you want in there. I don't have any.
But I can assure you, you'll have more security there.
That's awesome, that's what I would hear. That's what I would hear.
And, you know, we'll have it too. And the cameras that I'm talking about aren't just inside. They're the whole way around.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
On the expenses and things, are you going to be working through banks in Pennsylvania, or will you be working with banks in other states?
Our preference is banks in Pennsylvania. We're still waiting to hear what banks in Pennsylvania will do it.
I was gonna say, what banks are going to accept?
Most likely it's going to be a state bank and not a federal bank.
The banks aren't allowed to lend money right now, are they, for this business money in Pennsylvania? Is that true?
Yeah, I don't think there's any lending of money.
Not allowed to do it by federal law, is that correct?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think in some states, some state banks do, but
Not in Pennsylvania. You can't gather the money from investors, that's right.
Excuse me.
Jim's our CFO, he keeps me.
No. The banking issue is that the Department of Banking in Pennsylvania has said, we have legislation in Pennsylvania, it's clearly legal to operate in Pennsylvania as a bank doing that. We, as the Pennsylvania Department of Banking, can't give you any guidelines on how to operate or what's needed. And so that's where the banks are trying to talk to other states where they go. They're trying to be able to find out, have they been through any type of audit or regulatory review to understand what procedures they need to have in place, to take care of.
But as of now, if someone else came into the area and wanted to build another facility, over in Philadelphia, and they went to a state bank, are they allowed to lend money or no?
I think they're allowed to, I don't know if they will or not, because of the federal issues. I
I
mean,
thought there were some issues about they weren't allowed to.
I don't think that's the case.
We're not bankers, so we can't.
I think it's more of a case they can, but most of them don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole because of the federal issue.
And we aren't looking to loan money from the bank. But there are over 300 banks nationwide that are doing it and doing it legally. I mean, one of the things they have to make sure it's not black market, that it isn't any money laundering, and that they know the people they're dealing with. And with our seed to sale software, everything's accounted from the seed to the sale, and that every item that's deposited is only for the purchases tied to that sale. So everything is completely, they'd be able to audit this business and be certain that this business has none of that, better than any other company or any other industry.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand how this is all going to work. If there are all these regulations on the banks that they can't get involved, I've heard these stories of things have to be paid in cash, and it's all very confusing as to how people get paid.
Most of that is Colorado, California type stuff, where there is recreational, which is harder for them to control. But I can assure you that if there's a bank in Pennsylvania that deals with it, we'll deal with that Pennsylvania bank. If there isn't, we will look at other banking.
Well, my concern wasn't, basically for your financing it, whatever. My concern was for employees, are they going to be able to cash a paycheck or pay cash, if that doesn't recognize.
Our expectation is that they're going to get a check.
Just curious.
That's one last question. I'm all for state rights. But being a federal crime, and with the new president of the United States that we have intact right now, my understanding is he was going to put money towards enforcing the federal law on the prescription or the marijuana growers. What's your contingency plan for that after investing maybe millions of dollars into our backyard, and the next thing you know, you're all going to jail because it's still a federal crime, and it was just a lack of budget to take care of it?
An excellent question. I don't look good in orange, I don't look good in stripes. We are the 24th medical cannabis state. There are now 28 medical cannabis states. There were 4 recreational states plus the Washington DC where all our legislators are, that's recreation. There are now 4 other states that voted for recreation. So there's 9 states, California, Colorado, Oregon, Washington, that they have to enforce first. So we're going to know in a long time before that, you know, what they're doing. I don't think they're going to address anything. You're going to tell the patients that are being helped with this that they can't get it. Recreational, that's a fair game, you know, who knows? And, you know, so my sense is medical cannabis is here to stay. We passed the tipping point. And when you do it right, you know, if you're in there playing and messing up, yeah, you're going to go to jail. But, you know, I don't see that happening, especially here. I mean, we'll be one of the last states because we have some of the best regs. So where you're doing it properly according to the state, they basically aren't going to touch you with medical. I feel very comfortable there, or we wouldn't even be here talking to you.
Let's hope so.
But there's also 2 federal statutes. One is the federal law that marijuana is illegal to grow for recreational. The previous administration never challenged those states in that regulatory or those statutes in growing marijuana for recreational. But the federal government has recognized statutes for growing marijuana for the purpose of cannabis. So therefore, that side of the statutes are legal under federal government, but not for growing it for recreation. That's where the federal government in the previous administration has not challenged those states, but that's the only challenge that will come at this point unless something else changes.
I have a question. I'm a neighbor. I would be a neighbor there too also. If you do proceed with building this plant, do you have any idea of what light pollution you will be, your lighting that will be there, which I'm assuming will have to be a well-lit area all night long?
Are you going to be a 24/7 operation?
Yeah.
Noise pollution, light pollution?
There's not much noise, and the light pollution will be within the ordinance. I mean, most of the lighting is inside the building.
Well, you're talking about security. I get a picture of floodlights.
Yes, I get the same thing.
Yeah,
You know.
10-foot chain link fence. with
I think the township has,
You're not telling us anything.
the township has regular building regulations, and you have to be within township regulations, and we will be.
And the aesthetics is going to probably match the building campus that we have now.
I can't hear what you're saying.
The aesthetics, the campus is built in certain colors, the natural stone,
Yes.
the metal, that's the aesthetics.
Yes.
Right, they have all of, you know, the township has their rules and their regulations, and we'll abide by them.
So when you say grow houses, are you talking about massive greenhouses?
Now, it'll be internal buildings. It will have a flash architectural roof.
Are you planning on using solar at all?
I want to, as long as we can economically do it. And I don't care about investing more upfront to save. So if we can see a return on investment, and actually we're working with the university to look into that. I wish the nanotechnology was further advanced, because I'd love to have it completely powered by solar.
Tom, may I ask, just to enter right here, just for clarification on my part, so you're not looking at growing through a greenhouse, you're actually looking at growing in grow rooms, which everything is self-contained within that building.
Yeah.
And any lighting that comes into the building will be artificial lighting or skylight lighting into those grow rooms.
Well, the ceiling itself at certain places would have like a glass.
Okay.
Where the sun
Like
might
sunlight.
come in.
Okay. And also referencing to the outside lighting, the zoning does require that that any lighting must be 35% down from the highest point of that roof. So it would be 35% down, so it would be low lighting for around the parking lot. From what I understand, it wouldn't emit much more or less light than what matzo balls currently emits, and less.
Tom, if I may.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Rich Pluto. I represent the Perry County Chamber of Commerce and also the Perry County Economic Development Authority. These gentlemen were gracious enough to come and give a presentation to both of our boards. That was a total of about 30 members. And after doing so, our boards talked, and we both share the same concern. It's the quality of life in Perry County. And so obviously we were concerned about is it going to help, worsen the drug problems, or is it going to help it? Is the security going to be there? And we were all very satisfied by those things. But what excited us the most is eventually 60 to 100 possibly good family-sustaining jobs coming into the county. That's very hard to get today. And for communities like Duncannon and Newport, these are jobs that people are going to come in and not rent a place. They're going to buy a home in these counties. And they're going to stay in the county. And they're going to help, spend their money in the county. With 70% of our population leaving, it's going to be nice to provide good jobs to people in this county. So both of our boards voted unopposed to offer them our support. So we just wanted to make sure that was on the record. And we thank them for their information.
Well, I'd like to say I come into Perry County for the peace and quiet and nature, and I spend money in Perry County too. I'd like to have that represented.
And that is one of our biggest concerns when we look at growth in this county. And growth has been confined to certain areas in this county, and that's what we like about this. This is an area that was already developed for growth. It was always specified that this was an area where we would put jobs in this county, and we don't see that changing. It's not going to bring in a lot of traffic. It's not going to bring in, problems. It's going to bring in jobs, and we're thrilled to have that in this county.
One thing I'd like to say about security is that, we have a lot worse drugs at our local pharmacy in Business Park, a lot more dangerous drugs, with security in their store. So, from what we gathered from the information from what they're looking at for security, is that there's actually 100 times more security than at our local pharmacy.
If you're gonna be making this stuff in like an old warehouse, are you gonna test the walls for toxic chemicals?
It won't be an old warehouse.
Oh, all right.
But we're going to build this out at general manufacturing procedures. So, and we're building it to make sure that in the future, if FDA embraces it, we'll qualify for that. But it's a new built building that will be taking place. There are some places that are going into old warehouses, and I'm sure those will be tested and, that type of process would take place. Plus, all our product, we test it internally, but every batch goes out to a neutral lab and has to verify what we say it is, or that batch does not get released at all. And they look for mold, they look for heavy metals, they test it for everything that you don't want in your products that on the street or in the product.
I don't think we're all sitting in here, at least the ones that are speaking. Personally have nothing against the medical use of marijuana or oil treatment use. As a veteran, as somebody who works for 5 or 6 homeless veteran shelters and 2 major organizations across the country that serves veterans with PTSD, I understand the massive need for it. A family who has died of cancer or either has major rheumatoid arthritis or different levels. This is a good product. We don't have a problem with it being in Perry County, I don't believe. I think our problem comes down to is what's the effect going to be on business campus 1, the related houses around it, and what it's going to look like. So until we see drawings, we see what the security is going to be. You know, you're talking about using 500,000 gallons of water per year, not including the people, flush toilets, drinking water. The sewer system that may not be able to take this, you know, when you go from 25 to 90, Penn Township decided to give a ton of money to a fire company and dump a police department. We want to make sure that we are getting the right thing for our community. And as a resident of Penn Township, all my life, except for my military service, I have the right, just like every other citizen in this township, to ask questions.
I have no problem with any of your questions. I appreciate it, and we will be good corporate citizens. I guarantee you, we will make sure that we do everything properly, and certainly looking for as green as we can make it and as conservation-wise as we can.
I just like to, I'm Paul Rudy, one of the commissioners, and when I came in 5 years ago, the campus was there. All you folks that live in Penn Township, you know it's there. 10, 15 years ago, the federal government, the state government, the county spent over $8 million to put it there. And the whole purpose was to create 500 jobs. And so I just want to remind us all, I didn't create that. Neither of my fellow commissioners created that. But it was created by someone looking to the future of Perry County and that we need to be concerned about. A lot of you in here probably were much more intimately involved in it than I have gotten. I also serve on the Perry County Economic Development Corporation, which was tasked with filling that campus with businesses. And we put a new board together to try to accomplish that. And I'm grateful to the Roberts who have been helping us to wind our way through, because there's all kinds of restrictions that have been placed on that. And somehow we've got to work our way through. I believe that this, and my two fellow commissioners, well, one's not a fellow. All three commissioners, we've given them a letter of support. We feel that it's a positive move, and I think from the discussion here, it's not been a real negative discussion, but I just wanted you to know that we believe that money that's sitting at $8 or $9 million that was put into the campus was put there for a reason, and we're trying to see if we can make it something better for the county. I was excited when I heard the number of jobs, but there's also, that campus has sat there for a long time. I mean, I don't know if you noticed that or not, but it sat there when I come on board. It had been a while since the last thing had gone in there. And so we're just trying to do what you want in terms of, we don't want to create an environment nightmare. That just creates another problem. But we do want to create jobs. And if you have 500 jobs in that business campus, which is what the government lent us the money for, then there's going to be some traffic. It's just going to happen. And even if they carpool, it's still going to be over 100 cars, going in and out of there. And I'm not talking about just what they're doing. I'm talking about once the campus is full, 500 new jobs. So, as I looked at this, I didn't know anything about it. It seems like something that's very positive. I appreciate the comments in the back. But when I heard about the childhood seizures and what it does for those, and some of the other things, I thought, wow, I'm not interested in recreational marijuana myself. So, but that could be a very positive thing. And from the standpoint of Pennsylvania, it could be a central, when you're talking about research, it could be very positive all the way around. So I just want I don't want to just sit here and not say anything, because we believe that it's a very positive step. And obviously you ask questions that folks don't have the answers to yet. I know I don't. But
we're moving slowly, and I think that in the end, we'll have what we need here. Thank you.
I'd just like to say again that Perry County also gets a lot of economic benefit from hunting, fishing, recreation, and I don't want to see any of that lost either for the benefit of 80 jobs.
Well, the campus is there for jobs. I mean, that's not their fault.
But how am I affecting hunting and?
I just don't want to see it affected. You have Sherman's Creek right over there.
I don't
right
want
in the
to
back.
affect it, believe me. I hope to come back here in 2 years and be one of you that you appreciate us being there, and that's our goal, and that's how I always was in every pharmacy that I built. That's how I was with every community that I served. So I want to do the same thing here.
Just one more, back into Pritchard's. Well, we've been there since the beginning of that campus. And when it was first done, I know that this, Mr. Reed, is the woods still off limits and considered under green?
Yes.
Or is it going to be chopped up and it's going to be part of their lots?
I'm not
They're
sure
not
what you're
building
asking.
this lot, so they're building 12 and 13, that's over by the water's out.
You going over by the water tower?
Yes.
That's where they're looking right now, next to the water tower.
Those lots you're talking about, sir,
Okay.
I believe it's lot 7 and 8 are the two larger lots. I believe they're 7 and 8 acre lots. Those lots have been, you don't have full use of the 7 and 8 acres. The wooded area has been reserved for green. So those, it will not encroach upon the trees and the tree line of that property. So it's, though they're 7 and 8 acres, they don't have full use of all 7 and 8 acres.
Yes, ma'am.
I have one more question, it might be township oriented, and there might already be an ordinance or who might hear it, but, is there a stipulation where once you start building, and it has to go all the way to the end, and there's no chance of things going amok halfway through, and there's 3/4 of the building sitting there that nobody can use?
No, that's not going to happen.
It has to go all the way through and, used and. Will there be more meetings like this as you progress along if you get the permit? Keep everyone updated?
We'll do as many meetings as you want.
I just want to add that
As they throw me under the bus.
I live in York County, and I just came up here as an observer to learn. But recently, I went to a series of meetings down right off of 83 in Newbury Township, which is about maybe 10 miles north of York downtown, right off 83. And there was a company coming in that was building 1 million square feet of warehouse. And these people, like, were not even told until like the day before, and they buried it someplace in the newspaper, so nobody hardly knew the meeting was happening. And there was all these issues about all these 18-wheel trucks coming in, and lights, and noise, and idling engines, and gas fumes. If I lived in Perry County and someone was going to build a medical marijuana facility, I think this would be like the safest, non-noisy, environmentally friendly. I don't honestly, again, I don't live here, but I personally don't see a downside to it. I think with the way the job market is, I would think people ought to be happy that someone wants to build a facility and actually bring jobs to the area. I don't personally think.
Well, it looks like, I mean, the business campus, as you said, is there. Whether they build there, someone will eventually. And they're taking the time now to speak to us and to hear our thoughts. So, in my opinion, they've already proven themselves to have that concern to try to create the best environment that they can. It's either them or somebody else, but they're here and they're a good business, they're producing a good product, and they're talking to us.
If I can add one thing to that, when they called us, or the developer called us and said they'd like to come to the meeting and explain themselves to you, to both our organizations, what they told us was that they specifically asked to come back to Perry County for one reason: the quality of our workers. that they've been here before, they know how good our employees are in this county, and that's why they wanted to come back. And that's a great feeling to be told that. You know, as someone that hires employees in this county, that's nice that other people recognize it from outside the county.
How many people did you hire from Perry County in your past business?
It was about 100.
That was right in Newport, right?
Yeah. And we always got along with the neighbors. You know, and phenomenal employees, highest of integrity, highest of work ethics. I mean, this is my kind of community. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
The dispensaries are not, the distribution centers are not at the growing, or can they be?
They cannot be.
They cannot be.
No.
That's,
Any other questions? I appreciate it. I guarantee you, I'm sure we will be back. But I also assure you that we do things right. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, if there's no further question, I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.